Today I'd like to offer up a little spot detail on a spot we call Strawberry Ridge. You can find Strawberry Ridge in my Mark Map series and also No Secrets on Lake St. Clair, book number 3. Now my friend Lowell and I fished this in the Stars and Stripes tournament last weekend, and this was on July 30th. So a good time to be there at Strawberry Ridge. And we put everything on this one spot, and we ended up losing. We got 15.5 pounds off of it. So let's take a little bit about why we went there and what we were expecting, and perhaps some changes we could have made. Now, as far as the strengths of the spot, we were able to pretty much go up there in practice and get something in the high 3-pound range, or even 4-pound or better, pretty quickly, really, within 30 minutes or less. So the spot was looking very strong, and there's a lot of reasons why it should be strong. The migration pattern hits this part of the system right about this time of year on August 1st. So the migration pattern's strong, and we were getting good quality fish. So we're looking only for 5 bites. That was our strategy. And we felt 5 bites would have been pretty much well within our means, seeing as this spot was very close to the launch. In fact, you could see the launch right from where we were fishing the entire time. We felt that would also be an advantage. A lot of people would be going to Canada, we felt. So while they're traveling to and from Canada and eventually on the way back fighting a lot of waves and traffic once they get to the US, we'd still be fishing, and we'd be very close to spots. So we'd have a little bit more fishing time. So essentially we're only looking for 5 bites. Now in practice we found that Great Lakes craw was one of the top colors in practice, and then eventually a couple of practice days later we found Canadian mist was even stronger and real steady. So we did a lot of Canadian mist that day and some other things. But we went to Strawberry Ridge and we sat there the entire tournament. That was our strategy. Now, we're familiar with the spot, so if there's changes happening that day, we felt pretty confident that we could make the adjustment, and we did. The weather was coming from the north, or actually northwest, and so the current was going through there pretty fast, and that was a change from practice. And we found that that did reposition the fish a little bit. We didn't have a problem finding the fish repositioned. That was okay. But we didn't find the big fish, even though our first fish came within the first hour and it was 4.00 right on the money. We felt that, okay, this is exactly the way the spot set up. So we felt pretty confident at that point that that was going to be, you know, our 1 fish an hour type of thing where we get a 4-pounder, and it didn't happen that way. We ended up moving around a little bit. We found the fish repositioned, but we never found the bigger fish the rest of the day. That's henceforth a 15.5. So there were a couple of bite periods there. One, when we first got there was a bite period where the bite was strong, and then typically with smallmouth it'll slack off for a little while, and then right around 11:30 there was a very strong bite period then. And the best thing we found was a school of like 2.15s, things like that, down towards the back end of this structure, and during that bite period, but we never got back into the larger fish. So we did move around up and down. I think we could have made a couple other stronger moves, maybe a little more extreme moves on this structure. We're making very subtle changes, and we were getting fish, we just weren't getting the better fish. So we really don't have any regrets about choosing this spot. We felt still it was the right choice, and that the numbers were good. Again, the migration pattern was there too. Now, one thing I would have liked to have had would have been a deep diving crankbait. I looked for them, didn't have them, at least not deep enough. I wanted something at least 10 feet. And I went to the store that night to buy some, and even a good quality store did not have the bait that I needed. So we were out there without the deep diving crankbait. I think that would have been a game changer there for sure. We certainly would have picked up a couple more. I like the deep diving crankbait out there, so most of the time you're waiting for the fish to come to a plastic bait. And I did throw a little swim bait, but probably not a lot. We had good success with that in practice, but a lot of it had to do with color. One thing, drop shot didn't work for us, so we stuck with tubes on the bottom. And we had no problem catching fish, we just weren't getting the size that we wanted. So anyway, that's it for Strawberry Ridge right now, at least the Stars and Stripes edition from that tournament from last weekend, and there'll be more.